Hello, welcome back. In this video, we are going to understand the generation of a random numbers and the range function. So let's start with the range. So when you get this kind of a error, just terminate everything. Okay, we are working on Google Colab, and if you have multiple things running up, it is asked you to terminate that. So what is the meaning of range? So when you write range in the bracket n, okay, this is going to create the value from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so when you run this, it is going to give you the 0 to 6. Now it is not making any sense or meaning to you. So what you can write, you can just write down a list over here, so you can check out the values which are coming up, which I have told you. 0 to n minus 1, that means it is going to create the value from 0 to 5. So let's see whether it is creating the value from 0 to 5 or not. Yes, 0 to 5. Or when you write down the range like this, range in the bracket, range in a bracket a comma n. So when you write range a comma n, it is going to give you the value from, a to n minus 1. A to n minus 1. That means this is going to give you a value from 1 to 5. So let's check out. Okay, so the answer is very weird, so you can just write down list over here. Okay, and when you write list over here, it is going to give you the value between 1 to 5. Okay, very much crystal clear to us. You can write down the range list like this: 5, 0 to 4. You can even convert that range 5 into tuple, or you can convert into set also. Now suppose if I write 1 comma 5 and the third value of that. So this is going to create the value between, 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, and this value has been created by the range function first 1 to 5, and inside that the third value I want. So the 0 is basically considered on the location 0 itself. The 1 is considered to be on the location 1 itself. Okay, so 0 is considered to be as 0, 1 is considered to be as on one location, and so on. So you can check out, I want to check the third value of that, and that is coming to be as 4. Okay, as it is starting from 1, not 0, it's starting from 1. So so 1 is basically, on 0th location. 1 is basically on 0th location. 2 is basically on one location, and so on. So 3 is basically on third location. Sorry, 4 is basically on third location or index. Okay, great. So now the reverse indexing is also possible when you have the number like this. So I take this 1 to 4, and the 4 is considered to be as at minus 1. The 3 is considered to be as minus 2. The 3 is also considered next 3, sorry, 2 is considered to be as minus 1, and so on. So when you want to check what is minus 1 location, it is going to say 2. Okay, now this is going to create the value from 0 to 9, and we are going to skip one value by one value. So when you write comma 2, one value will be skip. And when you want to check this out, you just write down list over here. So that is going to give you the answer in the correct format. So 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 8. Now suppose you want to reverse the value. So this is going to give you a very weird answer. You cannot able to make out the meaning of that. But what is the meaning of range 6? Range 6 is 0 to 5. And when you write colon minus 1, it is going to reverse that. Okay. So this has been represent from 5 to 0, not 0 to 5, because we have written colon minus. We have written basically colon minus 1. Now coming to the random function. So when you write a random, so import random, you can do a rand integer method. Okay. So when you do a rand integer method, it is going to give you a random integer number between 100 to 500. Okay. Where every time you run, you will going to get a random numbers. Even you can get a random fractional number also like this. Every time you run, you get a random fractional numbers. Similarly, you can get a random range number also, like 2 to 4, it is going to give you 2 to 3. So every time either you get a 2 or 3. You can get a random Gaussian number also between 2 to 3. Random Gaussian number. Okay. Suppose you have a number like this and you just want to shuffle this number, that is also possible. In the random, that shuffling is also possible. So every time you shuffle, you will going to get a different shuffling method. You have a lot of values and you want to choose a random choice, that is also possible. So the game Ludo can be designed this way, random. So you can put 1 to 6 and every time you just press a button, a random number will be chosen. Suppose you have the value like this and I just want to take the value 5 different random values from this. 5 different random values. Okay, that is also possible to take using k equal to 5. So this is basically called sampling. So here the repeated value may come. Sampling does not say that the value will be unique. Okay. So random samples from this number will be selected, 5 random numbers. It may be repeated also. The 60 here is repeated, you can check out. So I hope the range function and the random generation number is very much clear to you. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.